Good afternoon. Welcome to Global News at noon on Memories 96.5 FM. First, the top stories. Akwa Ibom State Governor urges calm amid planned nationwide protest. Central Bank of Nigeria sells $148 million to authorized dealers. On the foreign scene, hundreds of Palestinians trapped in Khan Yunis as battles rage. In sports, Olympic opening ceremony lights up Paris in unique style. Details of this and other stories coming up in a moment. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at this hour. My name is NYAKNNO, Albert. And now the news in full. Vice President Kashim Shettima says it is time to solve problems and not protest, as the federal government announced its participation in the Grand Challenges Nigeria project, being a global health initiative aimed at combating malnutrition and food insecurity in Nigeria. During a meeting in Abuja yesterday, Shettima emphasized the need for constructive action over protest and also acknowledged the hardship faced by Nigerians due to recent economic reforms, particularly the removal of fuel subsidies. The Vice President made this known through an official statement by his Senior Special Assistant on Media, Stanley Nkwocha. He, however, called on a diplomatic way of advocacy, engagement, and patience as President Bola Tinubu remains committed to the Nigerian project mapped out for the masses. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moeno has called for peace and patience from citizens as the federal government works in tandem with the state government to address the current economic challenges facing the nation. Speaking at the Victor Otta International Airport upon his return from the Nigerian Governors Forum meeting in Abuja yesterday, Governor Eno acknowledged the right of citizens to protest but cautioned against potential risk. Our Government House correspondent Vanessa Harrison reports that the governor expressed concern that protests could be hijacked by hoodlums, leading to the destruction of government property, adding that such destruction would only deepen the country's economic woes, referencing the aftermath of the NSAS protest and also emphasizing the need for unity in tackling the current hardship. The governor's appeal comes amid growing concerns over the rising cost of living and economic hardship across Nigeria, which has necessitated the planned nationwide protest in the country. The Inspector General of Police, Olokayode Egbetekun, has alleged that foreign mercenaries are behind the proposed nationwide protest. Addressing newsmen yesterday in Abuja, Egbetekun said intelligence reports confirmed the infiltration of the country by foreign elements. His admonition came amid growing public rejection of the proposed mass protest, with states, civil society organizations, religious bodies, traditional rulers, youth groups, and even organizers distancing themselves from it. He, however, requested that the planned demonstrators should make a submission of their names and contact details to the police authorities ahead of the planned nationwide protest slated to start on the 1st of August. And away from that, the Central Bank of Nigeria has sold $148 million to 29 authorized dealers as part of steps to alleviate the fall of the naira in foreign exchange markets. An official statement from the Apex Bank website yesterday indicated that the sales were made to the dealers on Monday, July 22nd and Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024, between an exchange rate of 1,470 naira per dollar and 1,510 naira per dollar. According to the CBN, the authorized dealers include banks and bureau de change operators. A week ago, it also announced that $20,000 was to be sold to each BDC at the rate of 1,450 naira per dollar. And in spite of this move, the naira has depreciated against the dollar, trading above 1,600 naira on Thursday at the official market. Some stakeholders in the south-south region of the country have called on President Bola Tinubu to penalize the petrol barons operating underground to upset the working of refineries in the country, including the recently established Dangote refinery. The chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Communities Development Committee of the Niger Delta, Joseph Ambakederimo, made it known that the disruption, which some vested with some interest did not see coming, expected refineries in the country to remain comatose, with most of them feeding fat from the wrong things going on there. Ambakederimo, who spoke on the essence of unmasking the saboteurs, said the showdown between Dangote and the oil industry regulators is masterminded by the oil industry mafia, urging the president to read between the lines. He, however, called on the state governors, members of the state houses of assembly across the country, and members of the National Assembly to rally around Dangote and ensure that the refinery works alongside other Majula refineries. You're listening to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. More to come after the break. .5 FM, and now to the rest of the news. The United Nations Humanitarian Aid Agency says that hundreds of Palestinians remain trapped in eastern Khan Yunis amid intense hostilities and rescue teams unable to reach them due to the denial of access by the Israeli army. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs report that amid starvation and fears of spreading disease, the average daily volume of humanitarian aid cargo entering the Gaza Strip has decreased by 56% since April. Media reports say people have been trapped in Khan Yunis for almost a week without food, water, or a way to get out, as new Israeli airstrikes killed 18 in the city. US and Egyptian state-linked media reports indicate that Egyptian, Qatari, and United States mediators are expected to meet Israeli negotiators in the Italian capital of Rome on Sunday in the latest push for a ceasefire in Gaza. And in sports, the 2024 Olympics opened in Paris in spectacular style, with thousands of athletes sailing along the River Seine, past lively performers on bridges, banks, and rooftops in an ambitious take on an opening ceremony. Swapping a stadium for a waterway for the first time, the near 4-hour spectacle culminated in French judo great Teddy Riner and sprinter Marie-Jose Perec lighting a cauldron shaped like a hot air balloon that rose high into the Parisian sky. Blue, white, and red fireworks had raised the tricolor above Austerlitz Bridge before 6,800 athletes from 205 delegations traveled on 85 boats and barges past some of the French capital's most famous landmarks. There were surprise performances through the ceremony, including a cabaret number from US singer and songwriter Lady Gaga, as well as an emotional return of Canadian icon Celine Dion. And that's it on Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has appealed for peace and patience from citizens as the federal government works in tandem with the state government to address the current economic challenges facing the nation. The Central Bank of Nigeria has sold $148 million to 29 authorized dealers as part of steps to alleviate the fall of the naira in foreign exchange markets. And from the foreign scene, the United Nations Humanitarian Aid Agency says hundreds of Palestinians remain trapped in eastern Khan Yunis amid intense hostilities, and rescue teams are unable to reach them due to the denial of access by the Israeli military. And in sports, the 2024 Olympics opened in Paris in spectacular style, with thousands of athletes sailing along the River Seine past lively performance on bridges, banks and rooftops in an ambitious take-on an opening ceremony. The news this afternoon was edited by Mary Akpan and assisted by the production team. For views regarding our news or coverage of your newsworthy events, you can reach us on email newsroom@memoriesmediang.com or call our Newsroom hotline on 0909 000 0581. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Memories965FM. And now let's take you down memory lane. On this day in 1996, a pipe bomb exploded in Olympic Centennial Park in Atlanta, Georgia, killing one person and injuring 111 in the first terrorist attack at the Olympics since the 1972 Games in Munich, Germany. That's the news. Thank you so much for listening. My name is NYAKNNO Albert. Do have a lovely weekend.